All right. Okay. Today, we have a special guest, Mr. Jacob. Jacob is hands down one of my favorite mentees. He also was one of my first mentees. I think we've been working with each other for maybe a half year now. And Jacob has now done just about $80,000 in revenue inside of his agency. He works specifically with real estate agents, and we're basically doing this to give some hope to an upcoming aspiring agency owner, show you guys that it's possible. And we're also doing this to talk about the truth of SMMA and what really goes on behind the scenes. And this is not some sort of get rich quick model. This is a real business, and there's a lot that goes into the operation. But with that, Jacob, if you want to introduce yourself, and let's start with how you got into SMMA. How did you
Yeah,
originally come about this? What made you originally decide real estate? And then we'll kind of just talk about the whole story from there.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, little introduction. My name is Jacob Ray. 23 years old. I started my SMMA about last year. So I was inspired by most people, which was Iman Gaji. I got into there, started his course, and learned a bunch about mindset, but not too much about how to start an SMMA, right?
Yeah.
And from there, I, my father was a realtor, and I was all like, hey, might as well just get in the real estate niche. Um, learned just fulfillment through him. He was like pretty much my first client. Signed 3 clients after that. And I was like, wow,
And
three
so okay, so Iman is how you basically discovered it. And
discovered
then
it. Yeah.
yeah, so I like to talk about all the different investments that the successful agency guys
Okay.
have made, because like in my situation, my first year and a half, 2 years of getting into SMMA, I invested well over $100,000 in different mentors, coaches, programs. So a lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize how much people are reinvesting in their business. So not just Iman, obviously you invested in my mentorship, but wasn't there even another program that
Yeah.
you were involved in? You don't have to name names, but you had additional guidance, and that's a big part of why you are where you are today. You've been able to hit consistent 10K months. You've done over $80,000. So you have to invest in people that have been there, done that. It fast tracks your success. And I like to put emphasis on that too.
Yeah. 100%. So around this time, I think in September, like maybe early August, I invested with Iman, took his course, learned mindset. You know what I mean? I did learn how to,
Yeah.
really visualize success, and then after that, I was like, okay, I need to learn how to get my clients results. So I invested with another coach that taught me how to run a real estate marketing agency. It got me to, that 5, 6, 7K a month. And after that, I was kind of stuck there for maybe 3, 4 months. And then I came across Terrence on like a podcast. I watched his podcast and I saw he scaled to like 150K a month in the real estate niche. So then I was all like, I need to hit this guy up. Like I watched a bunch of videos on him. And then from there, he helped me just really systemize my business, make good hires, and even just the mindset, man, of just never turning off acquisition and just constantly bringing it, getting more appointments,
And
closing more
we've also
clients.
worked a lot on just your sales abilities too.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
just being able, utilizing an action taker special, and ultimately, I
Yeah.
think we've been able to increase your close rate quite significantly with a lot of the sales training we've done. Um,
Oh yeah, 1,000%. I think the number one thing, yeah, the action taker special. That one definitely closed me like 4 or 5 clients.
yeah,
Then yeah, I think it was really just the systems building. And then the number one thing you got me into was running ads for my agency. Like,
mm,
I think if you have like 3, 4 clients and you have a proven way to get your clients results, like you got to get into ads. And you literally sat with me one on one on Zoom on how to run my ads. So that was very helpful, of course.
talk
That's how I
about
really
yeah.
started. Yeah,
Yeah,
keep
and
going.
then also just I think innovation on the service delivery and
Yeah,
on the fulfillment. I think that would be really beneficial,
yeah,
because service delivery and fulfillment. It's just like any type of sport. Think about if let's say your
Yeah.
favorite sport is basketball. The first time you went out there and you stepped on a basketball court, you probably were airball and you didn't know how to lay up. And it takes practice, and you have to constantly be improving your back end. And you're actually going through a phase right now
Yes.
where you've actually put a complete pause on your agency to rethink your actual back end, actually rethink your fulfillment. But talk about that from beginning to end. What are some
Yeah.
of the innovations that you've done on your actual back end and the actual fulfillment? And where
Man.
are you now? And what have you kind of, and if you don't want to give
Yeah.
them, I understand if you don't want to,
Yeah.
you don't need to give
Yeah.
away all
For
the
sure.
secrets, but I think that would be interesting for people to hear as well.
Yeah, I think really understanding what your customer wants is a huge thing in order to make a successful agency, right? So I've always tried to innovate, right? Because no niche is saturated, right? It's the service that gets saturated, right?
Mm,
It's easier, like how you were saying, like
mm.
real estate's an amazing niche. Like it's a lot of a lot of agency owners are in it. A lot of people are selling realtors, but if you have, if you can create your own blue ocean, it's just it's you can scale infinitely, right? So
So it's,
I
yeah, it's getting away from being the everyday simple Facebook advertising agency and finding ways to
yes,
innovate your service, stay up with the times, and you're doing an
yeah,
excellent job at that, by the way.
exact,
But I
yeah,
think so. I'm guessing you started basically doing traditional, just classic Facebook ads.
yeah,
From there, lead gen, and then from there, I believe you pivoted to basically a performance offer. So yeah,
yeah,
how's your fulfillment? How's your actual
yeah,
offer innovated over the last
exactly.
months here, kind of getting to where you are now?
Yeah, so I started off as a Facebook ads agency, and that got saturated really fast. Everyone was like, I was getting on calls. Everyone's like, "Hey, you're offering the same thing as everybody else." So then I talked to Terrence. I was like, "Hey, how can I differentiate myself in the marketplace?" And you gave me the idea of building a call center, right?
Mm.
So an agency that does outbound calls to homeowners who are potentially looking to list, right? And right
Putting more
now,
emphasis on the actual conversion than the
yeah,
actual lead gen in itself. I think it was a big pivot.
yeah, it was a big pivot for sure. And right now, it's the easiest sell ever, right? The biggest bottleneck I'm having right now is I need to build the infrastructure better, right? I need to make better hires. I need to just build out a better system in general, right? So I'm putting a
Yeah.
pause on the agency to really focus on building a better system so I can get my clients better results. And right now it's a
More, yeah,
performance based.
yeah, right. Building out a whole call center is not an easy
Yeah.
fleet. And
No.
the interesting thing about Jacob's business is he actually got away. He doesn't even run ads. So he started
Yeah.
as a traditional Facebook ads agency, and now he's actually finding lead sources of higher intent leads, and he's actually not even selling ads, which really differentiates him. He was able to innovate on his actual service delivery, and he's more so now selling a conversion system, and he's currently working on building out a full scale call center. So when he talks to a real estate agent, his pitch is so much different than what, and not to say that it's not good being an ad agency, but I think the moral of the story here is you have to ask yourself, how can I differentiate my fulfillment? How can I differentiate the way that my business operates? And then that will be a direct translation into the success that you have on sales calls, because it's just something different. When I launched my TikTok agency, it was so much easier to sell TikTok ads, because this is when TikTok was first blowing up. It was so much easier to sell TikTok ads than it was selling Facebook ads, just for the mere fact that it was new. They haven't heard of TikTok advertising yet, and they want to try something new. With my real estate agent, with my real estate agency, my first agency, we innovated and we actually built out an AI chatbot system. This was before AI was even cool. So the back end is a direct translation to how much success you're going to have on your actual front end and on your sales. So when we got on calls with real estate agents, they're used to hearing Facebook ads and lead management. And then we had this special AI system. And now Jacob has innovated even something different than what I've ever been able to do. And he's building out a whole call center, and he's actually finding lead sources out, not even from advertising. And he's helping these he's finding what the real estate agents truly need. And they don't necessarily need more leads. The real lacking problem for a lot of real estate agents is they don't have a good sales process. They don't know how to manage their leads, and they don't know how to do follow-ups. You can give them leads, but he's figured out the real gap in the market. And I've kind of helped him with this, is not necessarily the lead gen, it's the actual conversion. And they will buy that. If you can explain that to them, they're going to be a lot more likely to buy that. And it's something new as well.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling you before, we started this call, was the problem when I was, not necessarily a problem, but what I've noticed was like trying to sell real estate agents the ads, they were more confused, right? And I wasn't really speaking their language. They never tried it. They don't know if it works. It sounds cool, but they, just didn't know if it works. And I was like, well, these guys love cold calling. So when we build a call center that does outbound calls, then I'm going to speaking their language and essentially saving them time, right? That's the biggest bonus of, one, of course, getting them deals and making them money, but how much time it saves them throughout their day, week, months, years is the biggest value add that they talk about, So, and that just comes from just staying in the niche for about a year now and not getting distracted, and I did get distracted, right? You see these shiny med spa agencies and, Chiro agencies. Like, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I've switched niches through not fully switched niches, but looked into other niches, and all niches suck. I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like,
they all suck and they're all good.
Yeah,
So
and they're all good.
Not
Exactly.
even to say they all suck, but all of them have their own pros and cons.
Exactly.
I love real estate for beginners because there's no gatekeeper.
Yeah.
That's why I do recommend real estate to beginners, because it's so easy to get in touch with real estate agents. Where like with dentists, there's a gatekeeper, there's a front office that you have to get through. Where real estate agents, 90% of them are managing their own social media, and it's really, really easy to get through.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, Jacob, thank you for sharing again. I think that this wanted to do this just to inspire anyone who's interested in getting into SMMA and kind of to be able to provide some free value here. Last thing that I would love is if you could give one piece of advice to someone who's looking into SMMA and looking to get started with SMMA. What would be your top piece of advice that you would give an aspiring agency owner?
Yeah, for someone who's looking to get in the agency space, man, like, you got to invest in other people, man. People who know what they're doing, because you can always make more money. You can always make more money, but you can't get your time back, man. Like, that's number one thing, right? Because I've been able to fast track my process, and I've spent $20,000 so far in coaching, but
I did not pay Jacob to say that, by the way.
1000%. Like, I swear to God, like, for me, there's two different types of people in this world, right? You either value your time over your money, or you value your money over your time. And I value my time over my money 1000%. And that's why I've been able to get to where I'm at, is just because I move with speed. And a lot of people
you've invested in education to basically to cut the learning.
Exactly.
Cool.
So yeah, that's my number one piece of advice.
So invest in education, invest in coaching, invest in mentorship, and then besides that, if you could give them one mindset of advice, what would be more of like a mindset type of a piece of advice that you would recommend to an upcoming aspiring agency owner?
Man, every morning just visualize where you want to be, in life, whether that's whatever that is, what you want in life, whatever your why is, visualize that every morning and don't lose touch with that. I've lost my mindset where I didn't visualize for, a while. As much as it might be corny, it works, man. Like, it definitely works, and it just keeps you positive, like always, because this journey is going to be up, down, like every day. It's going to change, So yeah, that's the number one piece in terms of mindset. Just visualize where you want to be in life, and always just know your why.
Cool. I like that. Yeah, keeping the end goal in mind, because it's not going to be easy. But if you can keep your eye on the prize, if you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel and try to live in that state, that's going to allow you to take the necessary action that you need to take every single day to actually have that become reality.
And another thing too is like, just, what things, the thing I do in the morning is I always write 3 things I'm grateful for, and just showing gratitude. Just having that in your mind is always good, because when you're focused so much on a goal, you get so focused on everything you don't have, at least for me. And that might be for some people too, not for everyone, but for me, when I get so focused and dialed in on a goal, I forget about all the amazing things that are going into my life outside of business. So, always just be grateful, So yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, that's all we got. Thank you for doing that. Any
Of course.
questions, drop a comment, and yeah, peace out, guys.